I have now. All right, here we go. We're recording. We're going. This is it. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
YouTube blocked true prophecy. And I would say, whoa, 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 to you people who are blocking true prophecy.
Stop it. Get some help.
The morning stream. This car smells weird.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning stream. It is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson with Brian Ibbett. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Scott. How are
it's
you?
Cinco de Mayo, right?
Sí, es muy bien.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
Usually there's parties and stuff, but that's not happening. We're not having that. It's not a thing, right?
Not big parties. I'll bet you there's still going to be cars cruising up and down Federal Boulevard today in Denver, because you can cruise. You can social distance while you cruise.
Oh, okay. Is that a thing, cruising? I didn't realize that was a thing.
Well, it is on Federal Boulevard on Cinco de Mayo. You take either a Mexican or a Puerto Rican flag,
Okay,
and
glad
you
you
open
finished
your
that
hood
sentence.
and you drape the flag around the corners of your hood and close the hood,
Yeah.
and then you drive up and down Federal Boulevard for hours.
You made a very interesting pause there because you said you take a Mexican, and then you waited a long time, and then said, or Puerto Rican flag. Like, got it. Okay.
It wasn't intended to be a pregnant pause there.
Wasn't sure where that was going, but now we're good. Anyway,
Yes.
well, I completely spaced that until right now. And normally we have a big
really?
thing. We do a big thing around here, but
Yeah,
it's
I
just weird.
even dressed appropriately for the occasion. I've got my Cinco de Mayo party shirt right here.
Yeah, look at that.
Also works for Dia del Muerte.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else.
What else can you do it for? You can do it for there you go. That's
There we go. Look at that. Well done.
our tribute to today's.
All of the people we encounter expect to be treated with dignity and respect. Mexicans are no exception.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Oh, all right, good. Yeah, Tina and I were talking. We've been wondering about Casa Bonita and what's going to happen with them, because they've been kind of, I don't want to say circling the drain, but they have been having their problems
Well, sure they have.
financially.
Sure. Before this,
And
before all this, right?
Before all this happened, and they're not doing takeout. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. The food's bad enough. If you go there, I can't even imagine like what it's like if you go there, pick it up and take it home, and it's had time to gel and solidify. But I don't know what is happening. What's going to happen with them? They did get named a National Historic Site.
Oh, that's interesting.
So-
Why though? Just because they're famous for being on South Park or whatever?
Yeah, probably.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of South Park, or if they were they probably were a historical location before that, but still.
Well, here's what they should do. They should do takeout, and part of the takeout is they send a dude in a swimsuit over to dive into a pool or a pond while you're eating your food, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Like, just basically have him standing in a kiddie pool with your curbside service.
Yeah, exactly. Just
They,
it won't
they
be.
hand the food to him, he hands it to you, and then you drive away.
Yep. Then he jumps in a kiddie pool, and it's not quite the same as cliff diving, but it'll do.
It'll do, exactly.
It'll do in
the
a
sopapillas
pinch.
were the thing to get there, and the fact that they're unlimited and hot and fresh out of the fryer when you get them is what really makes that place work. So I don't know how they would do that. You know, you'd get some sopapillas, and again, by the time you got them home, Tina, we're talking about like our favorite Mexican restaurant, Benny's, is so far away from us that if we wanted to get takeout from our favorite place, it would not be pleasant when we finally got the stuff home.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
well, we
good
could just
point.
go to a park. I'm
Sure.
Like, yeah, great.
Yeah, we did. Kim and
That
I did that
sounds
exact thing with our favorite Thai place, because it's too far to keep good, or to be as good when you open it when we get home. So instead, we pull over at some like that, just like a park. And sat at a bench.
Yeah.
And we got down, sat on a bench. It was great.
With the right kind of food. I mean, Thai, it comes in a big bowl, and you don't have to worry about stuff staying crunchy, right? Because it's it's going to be drunken noodles or curry or
it's more about it's more about the heat. You want the heat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, may we all find closer Mexican restaurants, I guess is
if we've learned one thing, if there's one thing that we can hope for in all this.
Yeah, that's your big takeaway.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of something I'm not going to say, though, because I don't want to get in trouble. Hey, yes, that is a Utah thing when people say, "God damn, sat on a bench." People say that all the time around here.
Is the thing you're not going to say just somebody enjoying a nice taco salad at their desk?
No, not that.
Okay.
Well,
good.
No, not that. Related, but not exactly that.
Okay.
You're knocking at the right door, but nobody's home. I'm not going to open it.
Right.
Hey, so all right, we got some good news, great news. 2 pieces of big Hollywood news to break here on the morning stream. No one's heard this before. Okay, so we're the first. You're going to be the first to hear this breaking news here on the show. Not true at all. It's been out for like a day. But anyway, according to IGN.com, they reported yesterday that The Tiger King is being made into a 8-episode TV series, and I don't mean the already existing 8-episode documentary series. Let's call it reality TV show series. Let's call it that.
Like a docudrama or a
No, I mean the thing that's out now. What would you call
the
it?
Netflix thing. Oh, yeah. The Netflix thing is I'd call it a folkumentary. Folkumentary.
There you go.
let's really carefully pronounce that.
Yep, that's exactly right. Well, they're making an 8-part actual written scripted series, and I don't know what the name is yet, but it's based on this whole Joe Exotic thing. And your favorite Oscar winner, Nicolas Cage, will be playing the role of Joe Exotic. And I don't quite know what to think about it, except I think
I'm never going to financially recover from this.
Where's the Declaration of Independence? I mean, where's my tiger? Where's my tigers?
Ripped her arm clean off.
I could eat Walmart meat for hours. The hits just keep coming, really.
Oh, they totally do. Absolutely do.
According to Variety, the 8-episode series from Imagine Entertainment Television Studios and CBS Television Studios will be scripted by American Vandals' Dan Lagana. I never saw American Vandals, so I don't know what to say about it. No. Who will also serve as showrunner for one of the series, and one of the series executive producers. The particular incarnation of the Tiger King story will be an adaptation of the Texas Monthly article "Joe Exotic: A Dark Journey into the World of a Man Gone Wild," unquote, by Leif Redstad. So it won't be based on the documentary; it will be based on this article that was in the Texas Monthly. Yeah. So I'm fine.
Right, okay.
It's fine. I was kind of hoping for, I don't know, somebody else, but
David Spade, Dax Shepard.
I'd heard Dax Shepard. I'd heard
Rob Schneider.
Yeah, a few of those guys I'd heard, but nobody had suggested David Spade yet, and that's kind of a great idea. I kind of like that.
Oh, Danny McBride, he seems like an easy pick for any role on this show. Like Danny McBride could be, maybe have him as Jeff Lowe.
Yeah, he'd be a good Jeff Lowe, or that other guy.
Your mom's a Tiger King.
Or he could do the weird guy that has all the wives and the
oh yeah,
Doc,
right.
Whatever Doc
something Antle.
Doc Antle, yeah. Billy Bob Thornton would have been good. You're right. These are good choices, but they've picked
all right. Okay, well let's figure out. We've got casting for Joe. Yep. Who is going to play Carol Baskin?
Oh gosh. Well, she'd have to be younger though. Kathy Bates would have been good in her day, in her prime.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my God, the lady from Goldberg's. You're talking about Wendy
she'd be really good.
What's her name? Wendy.
I don't know. She's from
911. She's from Wendy McLovin.
She's from that She's from that Reno 911 thing. She's great.
She was in Reno 911. She would be Wendy McClunky.
But hold on, that's not bad. How about
that's a great pick. Covey. Wendy McClellan Covey.
Melissa McCarthy might be all right.
Yeah.
There's a few. You could go places.
Shelley Long's not bad.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. She needs to be somebody who's just a little gratingly weird. You know?
Well, she has to play gratingly weird.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I mean. And I don't know who's best for that.
Yeah. Do you go... I mean, a lot of these people, if you go full comedy, then you do like a Wendy McClellan Covey. What the heck is her damn name? I got to look it up because nobody in the chat room has been able to help me out here. Wendy...
Renee Zellweger, no.
Wendy McClendon Covey.
Got it.
Wendy Ann McClendon Covey.
She's not... oh, yeah, that is her name. She's not married to a Covey, is she? Like one of the Covey 7 steps of better living or whatever?
Like the... let's see. Greg Covey is her husband, not David Covey, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective.
Yeah, that's a big Utah connection if so, because I was thinking if she's part of that family, holy schmoop.
Nope, he is a producer from who produced something called Janine from Des Moines.
Oh, okay.
In 2012, and that's it.
All right. I like that show. The Goldbergs is great, dude.
It is really good, and it's funny because it shouldn't work as well as it does because it's a lot of the same jokes week after week. I'm all in favor of all the things you just mentioned. Like they will use a joke that's something along those lines every week.
Mm-hmm. And it works somehow. I don't know how.
And it works.
Yeah, it really shouldn't work. There's too many gimmicks. It should fall apart, and somehow it's all right. I don't get it. Anyway, the point is, you're getting your
Tiger King,
your
dramatization,
and you're getting your Nick Cage in the role of a lifetime. So get ready, everybody. Pack your bags.
This feels like it should be part of the same series that the O.J. Simpson. What was that? American.
Oh, I know what American Vandal is because you just said that. Okay.
Yeah.
So American Vandals, the fake documentary that's on Netflix now with the kid that apparently draws penises on cars. Do you remember that? That whole thing? This is a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And it's fake. Like it's they treat it like How to Make a Murderer or whatever, but it's like a fake thing. That actually, I did see some of that. That was really good.
Okay.
So
but that's just the script writer.
Yeah, that's who that is in here. So yeah, I feel pretty good about that. That'll be all right. But yeah, you're right. This feels like one of those that FX thing.
Yeah, the FX thing. They had the Menendez brothers. They had O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, they did that. Versace.
Was the Versace thing part of?
Yeah, that was a Versace. Those guys did was it Versace or it was one of the designer people that got killed.
Yeah,
I don't remember how that went. I'm not familiar with how that went. You know, this is so funny because later today we're playing a mashup of sorts that is all about us not knowing stuff.
It's gonna be we just give him so much material. It could almost be its own half-hour show.
Well, today's mashup is called Poorly Remembered Stories with Scott and Brian, so I'll play it later. It'll be great. Okay, more good news. This is actually good news. Okay, that last thing, and who knows, like if that works out or not. Here's the other big breaking news. Taika Waititi, who I said his name correctly right then.
You did, yes. Well done, sir.
Yep. He's doing a Star Wars movie. It was already sort of rumored, but it's confirmed he will both direct and co-write the movie. And come on, and we know he's going to be in it too. There's, Oh yeah, that's his job. He has to be in it. He'll be Hitler, imaginary Hitler in it. It's going to be great.
Hello, I am Hitler. I live on Alderaan.
Hello, I am Space Hitler. I am so much worse than the Darth Vader. Jawohl. So we don't know what it is or anything about it, except that's a big deal, and he's a dude I would follow anywhere. So, like, get in there, man. Let's make a thing. That'd be great. We don't have any kind of like date or time frame on this. Because one would assume they have to film it with people.
It is really going to... Oh, Taika, not Tycho. You said Taika.
Did I say Taika Waititi? Taika. It's Taika.
My God. Come on, people. Like...
Taika.
It's like the first time he hasn't said Takawaka...
Takawakati.
Titicaca.
Right. Give me some damned credit.
Jeez. There's no pleasing you people.
That's right.
No, this the difference between Thor... Dark World and Thor Ragnarok is like night and day in many ways, not just in quality, but just in overall tone. Ragnarok is so much funnier. It's so much brighter. It's got so much more style that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what maybe a slightly more, I don't want to say comedic, but a Star Wars with more of a sense of humor kind of gets me a little excited.
Or a good sense of humor. They try all the time.
A good sense of humor.
Yeah, they just don't always succeed. I think it worked out, and there are moments in Empire that are kind of funny, but for most of Star Wars, very little humor happens. So
I'm holding for Nux.
Yeah, I'm holding for Nux.
Holding for Nux.
Check this out. Joining Waititi in the screenplay deal. So the co-writer here is going to be Christy Wilson Carnes. She is known for 1917 script writing. So she won a BAFTA award for Outstanding Film or British Film of the Year on 3-time Oscar-winning film 1917. So she's got the chops for the serious side. Put those two together, what do you get? You get Star Wars with some rad stuff going on. So who knows? But I'm excited about this.
I am too. Oh, Jazz Tech, make that a show title. Jar Jar Rabbit is really funny.
Jar Jar Rabbit.
That should be a show title.
That is pretty good. Submit it in the proper way.
Jar Jar Rabbit.
Nice job. Oh, chat room. You always have ideas.
So I'm guessing that that IG-88 that's in the Mandalorian, whatever his model number is. I know he's not IG-88, but whatever his equivalent is.
It was
66, 33, IG.
Not 66. That's the order.
11. IG-11.
IG-11. That's it. Yeah.
I'm hoping that somehow he works his way into into the new Star Wars film.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I want that other robot, the black angry one, or the one that was flying the ship for the crew that was all trying to rob the heist episode. Do you remember the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What was he called?
Such a great episode.
Oh, I loved him. The one that he was the voice of Moss from IT Crowd.
Right.
Don't remember his name, but he is so cool. Anyway, more of that. More droids. I like the droids. Brian, you forgot to do a name yesterday. You want to do this now?
I did, yeah. So yesterday being Star Wars Day, I'm really bummed that I forgot to mention it until after the show ended. But we're dedicating today's show to Scott Kaplan and his family. Scott Kaplan was the member of the MS-150 group. More of he did the annual walk thing more than the bike ride. As of recently, but he has had MS. He got COVID, and just because of his lowered immune system, could not fight it and passed away over the weekend. So, dedicating this episode to Scott Kaplan and his family, and a great guy in our group, and definitely sending best wishes out to his family.
Yeah, no kidding. I hope they're doing okay in this awfulness. All right.
One of his sons, or maybe even both of his sons, ended up getting it as well. And one of them is autistic. And the one that I know was hospitalized. That's right. Both of his sons got it. One of them was hospitalized. And I think the son that was hospitalized is autistic. And man, he had another rough time of it. But he's back home and doing fine.
Is that considered a risk factor or a higher?
I don't think it is. I don't think that lowers your
flag
defenses against immune system. I don't think it lowers your immune system to where it makes you high risk. I think he just got it worse than the other brother.
Oh, I see. Just ended up being more symptomatic. I got it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. On that sad note, let's dive into some fun news for the day. Here you go.
Say, gang, here's some razzle-dazzle news to flash to Mom.
Today's news is brought to you by
a new podcast called Glow Brighter with Tony, a one-woman show with your favorite girlfriend. I break down intentions, goal setting, gratitude, manifestation, and relationships. Let's grow and let's laugh together. Follow me and let's stay connected. Instagram at Tony Toni Appelt APPELT1. Let's say that whole thing. TONIAPPELT1, or visit her website at TonyAppelt.com. That's TONIAPPELT.com.
It's an interesting last name, isn't it?
Tony Appelt.
Yeah.
Tony Appelt.
Yeah.
I want to say Appelt.
Appelt.
But it's probably not Appelt.
It's probably a pelt.
The Appelt Ooh.
The apple of my eye. All right. Hey, Kansas City in the news. Kansas. Not Kansas City. The state of Kansas, I should say.
Sure.
Kansas officials say a man drank a caustic cleaner after a certain national leader floated dangerous disinfectant remedies on national television. After President Donald J. Trump floated he didn't say ingesting, he said injecting, but this article's
right.
They're deciding to say ingesting. Highly toxic disinfectant as a treatment or possible treatment. Kansas health authorities say a man drank cleaning product over the weekend. Lee Norman, the state health officer, said that the head of the Kansas Poison Control Center reported more than 40% increases in cleaning chemical cases right after that news conference. I mean, look, if the numbers go up and it happened right then, I think it's a pretty good correlation. Anyway.
It's a correlation. You got to, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you've got to be, he says it, shame on him. But you drink it, shame on you.
Yeah. What are you doing, you dummies? For real.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, including a fellow over the weekend. This is what he says. I love that he uses the word fellow. I enjoy the word fellow. I'd like to hear it more in regular language. Including a fellow over the weekend who drank a product because of the advice he'd received, Norman said during a news conference on Monday. Norman didn't identify the man who had gotten the advice. Last week, Trump wondered whether injecting disinfectant could fight COVID-19. He did so out loud. Experts say drinking bleach or other types of disinfectant is dangerous and possibly fatal. Do we really have to say it? We have to say it?
Thanks, experts.
Wow. Do we really have to say that now? We have to say
really
it. Really
relying on those experts for that revelation. Thank you.
It says the makers of disinfectant products such as Lysol have issued warnings against consuming their products since. We are doing what we can to counter message anything or against that kind of remedy, says Norman. So be careful out there, dumb people who drink chemicals for zero reason. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Something I haven't seen in such a long time is that Mr. Yuck. Remember how when we were kids, they would put this green face. It was like the opposite of the smiley face. It was like a face going,
oh,
like
yeah.
Mr. Yuck. And they'd stick it on labels of things that were poisonous or bad for us.
Oh,
and it seemed like it would work so well, right? Put that on your Tide Pods, put that on your Clorox.
Oh, there he is, Mr. Yuck.
Mr. Yuck.
It's still a little patch you can get and stickers. Oh yeah, this is great.
Oh, now he's got his tongue out. Did he have his tongue out when we were kids? I guess he must have. It seemed like he had his mouth open like he was gagging.
There's Mr. Yuck. I put him on your face.
Like,
He's all green, like he's gonna yak it, like he's about to lose it. Oh, Mr. Yuck. Keep
wow, there are so many parodies of Mr. Yuck. There's ones with smiley faces with the tongue sticking out. There's pins and badges and
yep, you can get all kinds of stuff.
there's a Trump version. Oh, there's many Trump versions.
Oh, I assume that has got to be wildly memeable at this point, given this weird news. All right, here's a
for sure.
Here's a broken record, and it's got nothing to do with COVID-19 or any of this nastiness. I know, right? Feels good to have a story that's not about that. This dog in Australia set a new record, gave birth to 21 puppies.
Whoa!
Woo! What do you
dog
do?
Just populated the pound.
Need to soak your dog vagina for about a month after that. Man. A Neapolitan Mastiff named Shadow. That's a big dog.
It is, and he's 3 flavors.
Of course.
The front of the dog is pink, and the back of the dog is brown.
And but there's always the pink and the vanilla are only 2 left. Everyone always eats the chocolate.
Marge, we're out of Neapolitan ice cream.
Says here, sorry, where was I? Oh, this huge Mastiff named Shadow is making international headlines after giving birth to a litter of 21 puppies. This broke the previous record in Australia of 19. According to Animal Emergency Services, she had an emergency cesarean on April 20th, so these were not, I guess, soak your belly, not your vagina. Shadow was so fat when she arrived, and we learned from her owner that she had delivered 3 puppies at home already. After 4 hours of no activity and a puppy that didn't make it, her owner brought the dog in, expecting the worst. Once they examined her, they realized she was carrying more puppies and immediately got her into surgery. It took a team of 10 vets and nurses to assist in the removal of the 18 additional pups.
Jeez.
Only 18 of the 21 survived, though, which is kind of sad. Shadow is now recovering at home with her owners and puppies. Holy crap, you have 18 puppies now at your house? Holy Moses, dude. There's no picture of this dog when it was pre-birth, right? Let's see.
Not that I can find, but there's pictures of the puppies, and they're super cute.
Oh, look at them.
There's like a picture of all the vets cleaning like a table full of puppies.
Yeah. That is just an
there's the
enormous
dog,
dog.
yeah.
Holy crap, that dog's big. Well, not that big. Like, it's big.
I mean, you know.
It's not the biggest dog I've ever seen.
Neapolitan Mastiff. Mastiffs are usually pretty huge.
Yeah. But I'm looking at it sitting next to a person. That person maybe is huge. I don't know. It seems like this is not as big as I expected. Anyway, here's some pictures, chat room. Look at this. Oh, yeah, cute. See, that's not that big, that dog laying there. But they got him all hyped up on drugs and stuff. And there's little pups in the box. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. Here's all them cleaning all these puppies. Look at that, all 18 of them.
Oh, super cute.
Yeah. I want a puppy now.
I'll put a link. I can't watch the video unless I give it my firstborn on Facebook. So I get about a second into the video and it's like, this dog just put out 18 puppy, and then it stops and goes into Facebook.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. Thanks.
Don't want to go there. Why they think that people want to deal with that kind of experience online, I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Facebook, what are you doing?
Do you really want somebody from Arvada, Colorado liking your Australian newscast site? I'm never going to watch it again.
Nope.
Never.
You're done. You're out.
It's not going to be my go-to place for local news.
I'm never going
What
there.
kind of weather are we going to get in Brisbane today? I wonder.
I wonder.
How's the traffic on the down end of 19?
My favorite are the chum ads at the bottom of a page that always seem to be location specific. So it'll say, "You won't believe what this Utah man did."
Yes, right. Yeah.
And every once in a while I experiment and just click on one, not because I want to know, but because I want to see how the sausage is made. What are they actually doing with me after I click that? And
and when you saw it, did you believe what the Utah man did?
Well, the thing was, it never got to the point. It went to. That's the worst thing about it. Is it went to this thing. It says, "Some think that this thing that click to second page, page 2. They never say anything. They just go on with words that don't mean anything. And by the end, you still don't know it. It's just the dumbest, stupidest thing.
It's just horrible.
Yeah, chum ads. Ban them from our lives. Or install an ad blocker.
How do they work? Yeah, that's probably the better thing.
Yeah, I did do that, so it's all good. All right, we got to talk about this monk.
Okay.
He was defrocked and arrested because he shot a guy in the testicles.
Just to watch him
squirm, scream.
I don't know. Yeah.
You'd bleed. You surely would watch him bleed for sure.
Shot a man in the testicle just to watch him die.
That sounds so much more painful than just shooting a man, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It says here, monk at the Wat Mongkol Nimit in Samet Prakan, just south of Bangkok. That's how you say Bangkok.
Bangkok.
Yeah.
Appropriate for this story.
Yep. It is. Has been defrocked in Bangkok and arrested for shooting another man who was living in the same temple. Police arrested 46-year-old Pram Aparam Rugathip. I don't think that's right. Do you think?
No, but it probably works.
Yeah. Pra Aparam
Rugathip.
At his living quarters on Friday evening. The former monk claims he only shot in self-defense. Why do monks have guns? I mean, it seems like it's anti-monk.
Right, isn't it a vow of peace and forgiveness? And
they got to have some rule. Like Tibetan monks, I know it's different than monks like, Jesuit monks or Christian side of things. I don't know how differently.
Benedictine monks.
Yeah. I don't know how any of that stuff works. But if you're a Tibetan monk, do you have a gun? Is that part of the deal?
He's a Benedictive monk.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of. He's a vengeance A vengeance monk.
This time it's personal. Very personal.
It says here that police say they seized an unregistered handgun with 2 bullets from the monk. He had hidden the pistol in the back plastic bag containing empty plastic bottles. I don't know what for. Anyway, police then took Rugenthip to meet the abbot so that he could be defrocked before being taken to the police station. Under Thai law, the Buddhist monk can be questioned but not jailed until he is just defrocked.
Into his first defrocked.
Or
Yeah. So
just-
you gotta get a defrocking.
So defrock, then jail.
Defrock, then jail.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That makes sense. You can't go in there with a frock. You got to get the frock off.
No, get the frock off.
Get the frock off. Get the frock out of here.
Get the frock away from me.
He's got a gun. He shot me in the testicles. What the frock are you doing? Anyway. The arrest follows the attack on a man identified as 42-year-old Semeret Kaiser Rat, who lived in the temple also. According to police, Samret was shot in the right testicle and was shot to the hospital. Not the wrong testicle.
As opposed to the wrong
Yeah.
test. Exactly.
The right one. The correct testicle. is what
You
they
and I
should say.
both picked that low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. Ooh. Bad combo.
Ba-dum-bum.
Rugenthip told police he had been in the monkhood for 4 to 5 years. Something going on in my monkhood. Anyway,
Guys making trouble in my monkhood.
shot me in the testicle. Got out of there. Went and lived with my aunt in
This
Bel Air.
is the story all about how I got defrocked and went to the Hooskow.
Then I had to get off my butt because I shot my neighbor right in the nut. All right, anyway. It goes on to say, the arrest follows the attack on a man. Oh, we already did all this. Okay. Okay. In recent months, belongings of the temple had often been stolen, so he bought a pistol and patrolled around the temple at night. He claims that on the night while patrolling around the temple, he saw Saramet walking around the area. Samret, allegedly scolded him rudely and began walking toward him. He said the man was carrying something in one of his hands. The former monk told Samret to stop, but he ignored him. This prompted him to fire a warning shot. However, Samret continued approaching him, forcing him to fire shots in self-defense, he claims. He didn't know where the bullet hit. After the shooting, he returned to his room. Meanwhile, Samret's on the floor with his bleeding testicle.
Squirming.
Oh.
He scolded me rudely.
Oh.
Probable cause.
My testicle. What has happened to it? Yeah, it is Samret, chat room. I'm telling you. It's spelled S-A-M-R-E-T. Samret.
Samrat.
Or Samret. There's no A. Sorry. E-T. Samret.
Right.
So it's probably Samret. Right?
Samrat.
Do you like mustard on your Samret? Right. Moving on.
Feifei with my Samrat.
On your hamburger. Here's a story. This is great. Honestly, if the world was coming to an end, I don't know why you wouldn't consider at least going
This
here.
is I'm already considering this.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at the photo of this guy, he's got no poops to give. He's just
Really?
yeah. Oh yeah.
fantastic.
He's just sort of like
Look at that. Yeah.
here.
His mugshot photo is him just basically saying, "What?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What?
Just so what if I was at Disney World living there? All right. So a man was caught camping on Disney's Discovery Island. Said to police it was a tropical paradise. He is, of course, a Florida man.
Of course."
He's facing trespassing charges after security found him camping on Walt Disney World's Discovery Island. Can you tell me what that is? I don't actually know what that is.
Yeah. So that's so they've got a few different parks down in Florida. One of which is Animal Kingdom, which is it's a zoo, but it's also got their big Avatar zone land, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the rest of the lands are safari and African safari and Asian safari and a couple roller coasters. And right in the center of it, kind of like the equivalent of the Sleeping Beauty Castle,
Yeah.
is this tree, the tree of life that is man-made, but has all these animals carved in the side. Really cool. But it's on this island that is, pretty beautiful. Like, would be a great place to crash.
Huh.
But I would live in the tree, like where the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie ride is, and that'd be
Yeah.
a great place instead of out on the island in a tent, which is what I'm kind of visualizing for this guy.
It looks like a Jurassic Park facility if you look at the pictures of it.
Oh, let me see.
It's the chat room. Captain Kipper put it in there, and the image on the Wikipedia page looks like I don't know, it looks like something secret going on in there.
Well, that's the hotel. I mean, it's funny. What a horrible picture of.
I know,
What a
it's
horrible
not good.
picture of Animal Kingdom, because you've got the edge of an island, and then you've just got one of the regular Disney hotels back there. That's not even like part of Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, that's boring.
Oh, they say Discovery Island is in an older part of the park. It's in Bay Lake, so it's not.
Oh.
It's not the island in the center where the tree is. Gotcha.
Okay. Well, maybe that's why.
I'd live either in Avatar Land or in the island where the tree is.
Yeah, it'd be fine. But I think part of the reason he got away with it is because maybe it is the older part. Plus the whole thing's closed right now, so that helps.
Oh, sure enough. Yeah, Discovery Island is okay. Yeah, it's this abandoned part.
Oh, that's cool. I like stuff like that. It's
Well,
like
there you go. Like,
yeah,
maybe that's a better idea. Just
I like abandoned abandoned stuff is my jam. I love that.
Yes,
Like-
exactly. So maybe I just need to go back out there and see Discovery Island for myself.
Yeah.
Experience a little Disney World action.
Sure,
as
why
soon as
not?
they open back up. They were talking about opening Disney World back up.
They were saying they were making movement in that direction because it turns out their governor's a little more hot to trot on the reopens. But I don't know if it happened. I don't think it happened. Did it?
Okay.
I don't think so.
I remember them talking. I don't know if it did happen. I just remember them talking about it.
If they do, they'd have to be real careful, man. They'd have to have one of those like only one of you in at a time, and all the lines would have to be spread. I mean, if they don't do that, then we're just gonna start it all up again and make another surge happen. Like, why would you? I mean, other than to save your. Look, Disney's got some deep ass pockets. They go way down. All right, way down those pockets too. By the way, could Bob Iger have gotten out at a better time? For real. Like,
no kidding.
That guy.
The last 8 weeks of it had been killing Disney.
Yeah, so they come in and they go, everything's great. Under my watch, the MCU happened. The acquisition of Marvel itself happened. All these deals happened. Star Wars acquisition. We've made more money than ever. Blah, 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 blah. Disney owns everything. With successful launch of Disney Plus. All this stuff. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Iger, and I'm out. And he retires. And then, boom, COVID happens, and he's at home going, whew, dodged.
The only thing that's really
bullet.
doing well for Disney right now has to be Disney Plus. That has to be kicking butt as people are stuck at home, and they're just like, whatever, I'll pay the $8 so my kids can watch Frozen 2 over and over and over again.
Yeah, one would assume that all their entertainment properties that you watch on either TV or streaming, so Disney Channel and cable, all that stuff, that all is doing. One would assume that's all doing fine with kids being home and all that.
People in the chat room, though, are correcting us. Bob Iger is back.
Oh, he is?
He's back
Wait, he
during
just
the
left.
coronavirus thing. Yeah.
Is that why he's back to help out or whatever?
Yeah, let's see here.
I didn't know this.
Saving Disney. Iger returns as coronavirus batters the company on all sides.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Let's see. Disney to reveal financial damage from COVID and current quarterly earnings. Oh, today we get a quarterly earnings from them, in fact. We'll see how that goes.
Wow,
look at Bob
the,
Iger coming back to save the world.
This shot of downtown Disney with the complete front of the Disney store completely boarded up, as opposed to like completely boarded up. Not just doors, but like wall-to-wall plywood.
I'm looking right now.
This is insane.
Wait, where'd you see that?
It's on the link that
is it Nismaru?
That Nistamaroo, the Forbes link. I can put it in the chat or in our Discord.
I found it just now. Let's see.
Okay.
Potential plans for Disney phased reopening. I'm trying to get it's a slow load here.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Yeah, that's weird, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Yeah, this kind of stuff, especially all the Vegas shots are the ones that get me.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing Vegas like a ghost town just weirds me the F out. But also makes me wish. I just want to. Okay, here's what I want.
Okay.
Forget about COVID-19. Forget about all this stuff for a second. I just want somehow, some way in the future to have it so that for one weekend only, the only people in Vegas, all of Vegas, is just poof. Nobody lives there, is there, or is around there. except for the people I may need to help me while I'm there, like, bring me food or do whatever. I want.
Wait. Okay.
So hold on, I got this idea.
Yeah.
So here's how we're gonna do it. We go there for TMS Vegas.
Sure.
It's me, you, TMS fans. That's it. We have the whole run of the entire place. In fact, you know what? We don't need staff. Forget it. No staff. Nobody. We just get the town like Night of the Comet. Remember Night of the Comet? How everything's gone the next day and just go and do whatever you want? I want one weekend of that. That's what I want.
Okay. I'm not sure I want that. I'd like somebody to run the Bellagio fountains. I'd like somebody to
No, you run the Bellagio fountains. You decide. You go in there and you say, I want to do Stairway to Heaven, and you get the Bellagio fountains to do whatever the frick you want them to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
We have total run of the place.
And we run the esports thing down at Luxor for TMS fans, and
we do whatever we want. We take a bolt. We go to the New York. We take an important bolt out of the thing. We don't have people sitting in it, but we set the what do you call it? The roller coaster off and just watch it fly off into Flamingo Avenue or wherever the hell that is over there. Like just some weird stuff that all gets reset by the next Monday. So this is a total fantasy trip. Okay, it's not real.
No, it's very much not. This is all.
It's all just in my head. But I want to like slide down the Luxor. I want to get out on the top of whatever hole is at the top of that thing, and I want to slide from the top of that thing down to a big ball pit that we set up ourselves. The whole weekend we get to do whatever we want, anywhere we want. There are no laws. There's nobody there to tell us what we can or can't do. We just take that town and do what we want with it for 3 freaking days. And then back to normal on Monday. That's all I'm asking.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's not so hard, right?
Somebody's got to run my craps table. That's all I'm saying. It can be any tadpooler, but somebody's got to run the craps table.
Yeah, get somebody like Iceworm will do it or somebody. Just get him in there. He'll take care of it.
Right.
Done.
Barry Folk.
Barry, you run all the gambling. Barry Folks.
Barry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's get we'll photograph. We'll document the entire thing with TVZ gun. He'll film the whole thing. Zoe, you can just slather real bacon all over town. Just slap.
We'll hit every buffet. Oh yeah, who's gonna cook for us? Somebody's got to cook for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Well, okay. So now, see, this is where it gets complicated, right?
Yeah.
So what I'd like it to be is when we get there, everything is working as needed as normal, but the minute we get there, poof, all the people disappear. And that means full buffets and fridges full of food, and any hotels just stocked to the brim. You just go and get what you want wherever you want.
That sounds great for day one.
You don't want that seafood on day 3?
I'm not sure I want the sushi bar on day 2.
I could see that, I guess. Fair point. Anyway, it's fun to dream, isn't it?
It is fun to dream.
All right.
If you so let's say, this guy decided he's going to camp on Discovery Island.
Mm-hmm.
You get the opportunity to camp anywhere in the world,
right,
during this COVID thing, and no one was going to find you. No one's going to catch you. Maybe just a weekend. You can just say, I'm going to go put up a tent on the top of Ayers Rock in Australia, or
oh man,
Eiffel Tower, or something like that. Where do you camp?
Where
do you set up shop for a weekend?
Okay, I got it. And this is going to sound lame, but it's my paradise.
Yeah.
But it's going to sound lame. Because my goal here isn't to I want to see something
my own backyard. Is that lame, Brian?
It's kind of lame, isn't it? Is that pretty lame? No, not that. I want to be right in the center of the Bullfrog side of Lake Powell on a big houseboat. Nobody else around. Red rock on all sides, and just lay out on top of that houseboat for 3 days. That's what I'd want.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The side, just the quiet. All you'd hear is like birds, and at night the bats would come out.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere. I mean, or wouldn't have to travel very far to get there. That's for sure.
I would love that, man. Well, 10 hours, but still.
I think I would do.
Actually, yeah, it takes me as long to get to Lake Powell as it does to get to Denver if I wanted to go to Denver.
I would either do someplace tropical like the Bahamas or something like that, or I would do those islands off the coast of Thailand where they shot The Man with the Golden Gun. James Bond, Man with the Golden Gun. They're kind of rocky but have a really grassy top. They're kind of like the closest you'll get to Negrand.
Yeah, those are really cool. It's very Negrandi. That's true.
Very Negrandi. I think I would do that. I'd camp on top of one of those.
Yeah.
Except the spiders and
you see,
man, they get some big ass scary critters out there.
They do. That's the nice thing about being in the middle of Lake Powell. There's nothing there but bass and freaking. I mean, there's some bugs at night, but not big
fish.
ones.
Not the kind of fish you'd want to eat.
My dad got bit by a fish in Lake Powell once when he was water skiing.
Uh-huh.
Bit him in the leg. Yeah, I know. It was crazy. We just still don't know what kind of fish this was, but it bit him in the leg so bad that we had to go to the marina and they had a medic there, and they had to do check it and disinfect it. It was bad. It was like a big old chunk of his leg got taken out by that. And then the one time, I'll never forget this. I was a kid in the boat. My dad was water skiing, and I think my brother was driving the boat, my older brother. And he's full throttle on this thing. My dad's out there on a single ski. And this is what it was. This is a common thing you used to do. I don't know if anyone does it anymore, but you start with 2 skis and then you drop one. So you start with 2, drop a ski. Now you're just slaloming it on 1 ski, and that's what he was trying to do. So they pull him up. He kicks off the left ski to then put his foot into the back of this single ski, and the left ski hit a wave weird and ricocheted up and hit him in the ear, right in the ear.
Oh,
I know.
Geez.
The tip of the ski just went right in his ear, and he couldn't hear for a month. And just bled out of that ear, and it was bad. But he says
That's
he didn't.
horrendous.
Yeah, he didn't regret it because he liked it.
No regrets.
But I think that's where I got my fear of deep water. Ironically enough, I want to go into the peaceful place, but when I'm in that lake and I think of my dad getting bit by that fish, I think that's what did it to me. Because I was real young when that happened, and if I look down in that water, it goes on forever, just blue, dark, black. Eons of what feels like eons of water, and it just gives me the willies. But put me on a boat and I'm fine. I'm good. Well, that was a fun little idea there you had there at the end there. All right. Anyway, so this guy, he just got caught there, and now he's in trouble.
Yeah,
so.
now he's in trouble.
His
No
name's-
Disney for you.
Nope. Richard
The
Mcguire.
Disney police popped up out of a hole, and
They said, "Hey, what are you doing over there? Come here. You're not allowed here."
that's right.
Book him. I don't know what voice that was. I don't know who I was doing. There you go.
Come with me.
That's better. And as they drive away, woo! He does that as he leaves. All right.
Nope.
Wrong.
Not Porky
Wrong
Pig.
deal.
Nope.
Yep, wrong deal. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we will spend some time with Bill and Jury and all that. It's Tuesday after all, so stick around for that. In the meantime, we have music to play. What did you bring today?
Yeah, Philadelphia is where we're going for this one. Brand new album from a band called the Commonwealth Choir. They just signed with No Hope Records.
I have right here in my utility belt a remote control bat computer oscillator.
Hold on, let's try that again.
The Morning Stream. Oh, the new health and fitness section? I'm not sure, but I'll find out if I could use your phone.
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. People in the chat room are still arguing about when states can open their government or their business or whatever. That makes me sad.
When they can? I mean, it's up to the state. It's up to the state.
Well, is it though? I mean, here's the truth. Let's say the state says, we're opening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Businesses don't have to if they're worried about stuff. If McDonald's
No,
says...
No. I mean, the states can decide when they open, but businesses really have the ultimate decision on we're gonna wait a week. Thanks.
Probably
we're gonna wait a month.
We're gonna give it a little time, maybe.
Yeah, we're fine. We get it.
Yeah. We may not jump right in just now. Okay. Bill Duran on his way. I'd say that knowing that I haven't called him yet.
Question,
Okay.
is he?
Is he? Is he? Oh, yes, he is. and here he comes.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
Bill Duran, all the way from the Pacific Northwest, that being the state of Washington. He makes things, comes on Tuesday and talks about them. Hi there, Bill.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing okay.
Yeah?
Slept great.
Yeah?
Having my first cup of coffee.
I wish I slept
good.
great.
And,
How do you sleep great? Give me some tips. What do you do? How do you do it?
I actually yesterday went for a walk with Brittany.
Yeah.
And it was a little exercise, right? And then I got home and I did some more exercising. Did some crunches, some ab stuff, some leg lifts.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I worried for about 12 hours.
Okay.
And then by about 11, I was exhausted. So
I see. Okay. No, this is all right. You just need to exhaust yourself, is what you're saying, and then better
it helps
sleep.
for me anyway. I know a lot of people that doesn't work, but if I get physically exhausted, I just can't keep my eyes open.
Yeah. Did I tell? I don't know if I've told you this. In the last week or so, I had a dream. It wasn't a very remarkable dream, other than I was going on a tour of people's houses. I don't know why, just seeing houses. And I was with a guy the whole time. Guess what his name was? Foam Smith. And I'm not kidding.
No way.
His name was Foam Smith. And that was the most prominent thing in the dream, is that me and Foam Smith were traveling around looking at houses. And it wasn't you or anyone even looked like you. It was just some...
That's even more. That's even worse. It didn't even look like Bill. Wasn't like Foam Smith wasn't Bill.
No, it's just a guy who just was named Foam Smith, and it was like the whole time there was like this clarity in my head that was, I am traveling with Foam Smith to look at these homes. It was very weird.
What this tells me is that my SEO has been so on point that it has transcended the dream space.
Yeah, you've search engine optimized my brain. And
was this man's name? Did it start with a hashtag?
No,
hashtag Foam Smith.
No, it was just straight up like first name Foam, last name Smith.
Awesome.
There was like a weird introductory period where it was like, "Hi, I'm Foam Smith. Oh, hi, I'm Scott Johnson. I guess we're gonna go look at houses today." It was a really odd dream, but I have been having dreams every night. Seems like all night. Probably it's 5 minutes. Who knows? Our brains are weird, but like constantly having the weirdest dreams. And that one in particular is like, okay, it's Foam Smith. Sure, probably has something to do with Bill. Don't know how, but all right. Me and Foam Smith rocking the world. It was really weird. Anyway, so there's that fun story. Hey, what'd you bring us today? What big package of Bill do we have to open?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy that Brian made a prop this week because I didn't make anything. So we're going to talk about Brian's Mjolnir.
Let's talk about it. I got to thank you for the recommendation on the acrylic, doing the acrylic wash, and the video, which was perfect.
Excellent, yeah.
I watched that video, and then I watched the one after it to get like a little bit of not exposed metal, because it's all, the whole thing is exposed metal.
Yeah.
But I did a light silver on places, and I'm thinking I still need some more weathering, and I got to figure out what to do as far as more weathering.
Sure.
I mean, it's a mystical device.
It is.
You'd think that it would resist weathering.
But it is also very old.
It is,
so
yes.
It's been kicking around a while. I realized, too, when I went and looked at your text message this morning, that I did not answer all of your questions.
That's okay.
But
that's why you're here. That's why you're here.
If you have a giant hammer like that, and let's say you paint it the base color like a gunmetal, which is like a darker metallic, then you could go over and just lightly hit the edges with a bright silver. So you get a little bit of that contrast. And a lot of times when you do that, what happens is that bright silver doesn't show up until the light hits it just right. But when it does, it's got that nice highlight, that nice sort of just variance on the edges that make them pop a bit.
Yeah.
I had a similar question this week. Someone emailed me or tweeted at me. They had a piece of their prop that was white. In the reference, it was white, right? So they painted it white. And then they said, how do I can make it look dirty by putting, a wash of brown or black paint on it, but I want the edges to look all weathered. And what I told him was, well, in the fiction, what's this thing supposed to be made out of? Is it white plastic, or is it a piece of metal that was painted white? Because if that's the case, then you want to paint it in a way that looks like maybe some of that white paint is chipped off and there's metal exposed down below. But if the whole thing's supposed to look like white plastic, maybe you could like chew up the surface a little bit, but it's all still going to just be that white plasticky color.
Right.
So really, when it comes to weathering, you want to tell a story and figure out what that story is and how it would apply to what's happened to your fictional object over the years.
Yes. I'm thinking he hit one of the dark elves with the corner of this, and there was some blood, some gross dark elf blood.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
in the corner, and
Nice.
crusted in there, and got in the cracks, and he didn't have like a little wire brush to kind of.
He doesn't. Yeah, he should have a little, like a little really ornate Asgardian brush he keeps in his belt, you know.
Yeah.
And after a fight, you just see him just sort of like picking little bits of dude out of the, all the ornate details on Mjolnir.
My so I don't know if I ever told you guys this, and my brother-in-law Steve listens, so he'll enjoy this. But back when my daughter was a senior in high school, she headed up a project where their school's mascot was Thor. So she had this project. She's like, "Hey, what if out in front of the school, which was a relatively new school, just been built in the last couple of years, what if we had a big monument to Thor?" And they ended up settling on a giant version of Mjolnir embedded in a giant stone.
Cool.
The problem is, and it looked amazing, like just looked incredible. Taylor did the like design work on those, the detail on the ends of the hammer and all that. Steve built the whole thing out of bronze. I think it was bronze. He had a cast in bronze, I should say. The problem is it was technically two pieces, right? The stone and then the hammer, and it looked like it was never going to get out of there, but some kid figured out a way to get the hammer out of the hole, which obviously is bad for Mjolnir's reputation. You're not supposed to be able to be worthy to pull that thing out of there. Anyway, I can't remember how he eventually did it, but if you still go by to that school, and if locals are interested, then contact me. I'll let them know where it is, but that thing's still there, and it is badass, like a big hunk of a giant hammer just jammed into the ground, and it's so cool. So anyway, just a little side note there.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So I want to take a moment to talk a little bit about weathering and some stuff that I know.
Oh, great.
Here's a great quote from my friend Harrison from Volpin Props, who's much better at this than I am. Paraphrasing him, he said, "Weathering is when you slowly ruin a prop until it's perfect, right? When you do your base coat of paint, it looks like it came right out of the factory. But that story's boring, so you start to ruin it until it looks just right." The finish you're going for is as if it has been affected by the environment. Now, if you use genuine materials, like I said, you can do genuine weathering. So, for example, people will do this when they build like a table, right? They'll build a table with brand new, fresh wood, and then they'll do things to it to make it look like an old piece of furniture that's been kicking around for a while.
Sure.
You can use chemicals, you can burn it, you can use like a wire brush to like scratch it up a whole lot. But you're not faking anything. You're basically just accelerating what time and erosion would do to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're like me or Brian and you made your stuff out of 3D printed plastic, you can't exactly do that. So it all needs to be simulated. And that's what Brian was doing. By doing a dark wash, you're mixing up a whole bunch of dark paint that's supposed to simulate grime and dirt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then putting it all over the prop and then wiping it away just to show where it would stay, the places where it accumulate.
Yeah, and there's so much great filigree in here where that black can kind of settle in and look all crusty and kind of get in close on some of this.
Yeah, so that's where you want it too, is in those little details.
Yeah.
How about the hand? Are you trying to do that with the leather as well? Make the leathering seem...
I did. Yeah, I weathered the leather. So for each of these rings on here, I put the wash and then wiped it off to kind of give the leather a little bit more of a leathery look.
Ooh,
I still need an actual leather strap, and I'm trying to figure out. I've got a horizontal space that I can put a leather strap into.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to figure out the best way to do that, because ideally it would be two ends. Basically, you'd basically have a U shape, and you'd put the two ends through, so that what comes out of the other end is a holdable strap, and the other part is just like kind of snapped or fused somehow so that it can't be pulled back through.
I think you'll have to put on like a big white wig and just go to town as Thor as a cosplayer.
Yes,
right. I'd be down for that. I saw your Bigfoot thing you did the other day, your Yeti costume.
My Yeti. Yeah. I should post that to Twitter. I actually have a little bit of video. It didn't come out as well as I wanted, because Tina, for whatever reason, didn't want to go with me. She like said, "Nope, I'll video you as you walk by the back of our house."
Yep.
But,
she did a very
nothing,
brief videoing too. She didn't take very much of it.
I'm not coming with you, no.
But there is a certain strut to the way you're walking that is pretty special. So
yeah, the strut is just basically amplified from how I have to walk to get those floppy feet. Floppy clown.
You're like one of those dogs where you put slippers on a dog and it doesn't know what to do, so it's like making big broad strokes with its feet. It's kind of what it looked like. Anyway, you should share that. Sorry, Bill. Sidetrack.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. Yeah. So anyway, just a couple more pieces of or weathering techniques I wanted to run down. You can add dust to something to make it look old, but wear and tear is where things get really fun. So we talk about using battle damage. So if you're working on a prop and you kind of goof up part of it, you can say, "Oh, we'll make that into battle damage," right? You can sort of hide your crimes that way. I've done this before where I'll use the rotary tool to sort of grind up a part of a prop and make it look like it got hit by a blaster or something. You can also, this is really fun, look for spots on a prop that would turn shiny because you've handled them a lot, right? So any grips, the grip on a pistol might be a matte finish when it's brand new, but once you've carried it for 10 years, it might, the part where your thumb touches gets shiny. And there are a lot of different ways you can get that finish on a fake prop, but one way you could do it, so my Ray Blaster, those grips are cast plastic, they're black, and if I want to make them shiny, all I have to do is polish them, which is really handy.
Very cool.
And then you can add scratches and paint chipping and all other really, really neat stuff to add to that story. And that's basically weathering.
Cool.
Nice.
It's very cool.
Weathering matters, turns out.
Totally does. Yeah, it definitely makes the prop feel more like a prop, as opposed to just a toy off the shelf at Toys R Us.
Yeah,
exactly. It's hard. It's hard in a mass production kind of way to make toys have weathering naturally. Like it's a difficult.
And
process.
It's always the paint job that suffers on those. Always.
Yeah. So that's why this personal touch is pretty much required if you're going to make it look that good, because there just isn't a way to mass produce it without it being extremely expensive and
right.
Are you saying that this does not look like one of Star-Lord's
like it jumped out of the screen?
Yeah.
I'm saying you could, what you could do, just weather the shit out of that thing and boom, there's your thing. You got it.
It needs a full repaint because I don't think the blaster is bright red and bright blue either. So
or you just go completely sideways and make the rest of your Star-Lord costume bright red and bright blue.
There you go.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's a good idea too.
Go all in. I'm putting in our Discord an image of that hammer that they made. Someone had a picture of it here, and I had forgotten they had done a $250 reward for whoever stole that thing when they first took it. So I don't know how that ended up, but they ended up getting it back. So
how big is that thing?
It's looks big. It's like it's bigger than Thor's hammer. It's like
yeah.
Oh geez, probably I don't know what to compare it to. It was probably like 33 inches wide at the base of that thing, and great big handle. And that handle's all metal also. It's all bronze. It's pretty insane what they put together for that thing. But anyway, is it actual size? Oh, Carter says it's actual size. I thought it was bigger. Isn't it? I could have sworn it was larger than that. Maybe she's saying it's... well, what is actual size? How big is Thor? How big are his hands? We don't know.
The size of Thor's hammer varies from different accounts.
That's right. Beta Ray Bill's version was much heavier and bigger. Typical male, says Pops and Recline. All right. Anyway, Bill, always a pleasure to have you here. You got any little bonus linkage for us today?
I sure do. The Craftsman, our favorite crafting puppet, put out a video talking about how to use a camera in manual mode. And as someone who has studied photography for the better part of the last 35 years, this is actually one of the very best examples, I think. Visual examples showing how the different manual settings on a camera have an effect on your image. And it's also presented by a puppet. So I recommend everyone interested in photography.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
A really photographed puppet, mind you, as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He puts a ton of thought into his shots. Really well lit.
Yeah.
Everything's manual. Everything's really cool depth of field blur.
Yeah. He's got what do you call those things? Boom box behind him with googly eyes on it. What else can you ask for? Yeah. It's impressive. Actually, I should watch this. I've got
You
that.
should.
I have that. I've just got one of these little Rebel cameras like this, and learn a little something.
Be a great one. Tina's trying to get into a lot of close-up photography, so this would be great.
Yeah.
How close up are we talking? We're talking macro.
No,
Okay.
just like we've been doing stuff for my friend's candy site, his
like
candy shop,
products?
food products. And
Man,
stuff.
I
Yeah.
love product photography.
Yeah.
Product photography is
Everything's
cool,
so
man.
small and cute.
Yeah. Right. My daughter always tells me her dream job is working for who did Kubo and the Two Strings? Forgot the name of the studio. Anyway,
Leica.
Yeah, Leica. The prop work they do, like the miniature work that they do for just background and sets and parts and pieces and tables and chairs and all that. Like that could be her job until the end of time. Be amazing.
One more quick anecdote. There's a scene or many scenes where he swings a sword.
Yeah.
And they made several swords, and one of them is it's a physical sword that has a motion blur behind it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when they animated, they swapped that out, so it looked like his sword had a motion blur, but it was all physical. It was all built into the model.
I know. That stuff's so crazy. I love how they do that stuff. Like, or like they want to really have an exaggerated motion, and in motion it seems like somebody just jumped really hard or whatever. But if you slow it down and look what they did, their faces got all elongated for a couple of frames. Like they actually distorted the characters to create the effect. I love that stuff. So
Those are the principles of animation.
Animation.
Squash and stretch.
That's right. Squash and stretch. That's our new show where Brian and Scott are changing our names. All right. Hey, I don't know who's who, but we can decide that later.
Yeah.
Bill Duran, everybody. You can find more of his works over there at punishprops.com. Also, Punish Props on YouTube. And as always, Chinbeard on Twitter. Bill, have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye now.
Bye. Bye.
All right. Now, politics.
Yes, politics.
Political discussion with our good pal, Justin Robert Young.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Joining us on the line now, all the way from Oakland, California. No longer the home of the Raiders. I guess not for long anyway. Is Justin Robert Young joining us in a shoot? I was hoping you'd look like that fisherman gear you had on the other day. You look like a guy.
The longshoreman.
Yeah, the longshoreman stuff. That looked great. I missed that look. You gonna go for that more?
I'm a man of many looks.
Yeah.
I got many looks. I'm feeling a little like the bassist in a country music video right now.
Oh,
I see that. I can see that. Yeah.
Before I forget, how do you feel about Nick Cage playing Joe Exotic in the upcoming thing?
I love American Vandal,
Yeah.
so I'm more excited about the creative behind him. I would say in general, though, like, look, it was fun, but the fun is done with Tiger King. Like, I don't know how many derivatives I want to see, mostly because the point of that show was surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you now are expecting surprises, it's not going to be as fun as when you weren't expecting surprises and they surprised you.
Yeah, all the stuff that all the cliffhangery business that thing presented, we now know. We all know he's in prison. Like, all that stuff's done. So what is this then? What is the character arc?
The story's been told.
Have you ever seen American Vandal?
Yeah, I didn't see it all, but it's the dude that drew penises on cars, and they had to. It was
but
done
it's
like
basically like it was a parody of Making a Murderer.
Right.
And so if they're going to take that and heighten it and twist it and make it something different and weird, then that's great. What I would love to see is you take that story and actually make Joe Exotic the hero, but by way of, like, you know, a deep state conspiracy. Like, basically just like make their versions of why people are being mean to them and make them the most mild possible thing. Free world hanging in the balance of the greater Wynnewood Zoo. That would be my idea.
That would be all right. I mean, that's what that dude. You've described kind of what he would probably make if he was on his own and had his own devices. But I wonder how much of this will have to stick to the truth or stick to not the truth, but
Yeah, I mean, it's based off a Texas Tribune or Texas Monthly article, so it's not going to be based on that particular story. But apparently, that article does, include Carol Baskin and all these other.
Oh, we were playing around with who we thought we would cast as Carol Baskin. Who would jump to your mind if you had to cast her today? Like, who would it be?
One of the SNL ladies does like an insane impression of her on TikTok.
Good, yeah.
Who is it? Do you know who it is?
She's one of the new. She's one of the new. The featured.
Yeah,
as opposed to like the ones that get their names before the also.
Yeah, it used to be like everybody would get the video moments where it'd be like Jim Brewer buying a Coke and then looking at the camera, and Mike Myers like having a hot dog slip out of the bun, and then there would just be like the still pictures. It's like. Featuring Chris Rock.
Right, exactly.
Oh, here
Chloe
it is.
Feynman.
It's Chloe Feynman. Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah, no, but her impression is just like lights out. So good.
Really? Okay. I'll have to follow up and check this later. But yeah, like I don't know how I generally feel about. I'm a little burned out on it because I ended up listening to the documentary or the podcast thing last week. Just binged it, and it was the one that came out before the show. And anyway. It's a very different perspective, like to the point that I already knew that these filmmakers were kind of playing fast and loose with the, difference between reality TV and documentary methods. And I knew that. I'm not totally naive, but man, they picked and chose, left a lot of stuff out, told that guy not to wear a shirt or his new teeth. Like there was a bunch of stuff that
sensationalizing that
in general, you got to realize that most documentaries, full stop, are not great journalism.
Yeah.
Like, there are obviously the Ken Burnses of the world that are basically just trying to like bring history text to life.
Yeah.
Like that's a different style. But in general, even the ones that we understand to be a little bit more sober are... they're trying to tell a story. Reality, it is hard to make a coherent 2-hour story out of reality.
Yeah, out of real reality. That's true.
It just is very, 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 very hard.
Yeah, I think it's why I respect. Once in a while, one will come out and it will be no music, so nobody's trying to, elicit emotion from you,
right?
From either being funny or sad or any of that. They just don't have music. And they don't have a narrator to tell you how to think or what to see, and they just film stuff. And an example.
Have you ever seen? I think it's like
Jesus Camp.
May something 1994.
No.
It was an ESPN 30 for 30, and it was about the day that the OJ Ford Bronco happened, and the New York Rangers were getting their parade in New York City, and the New York Knicks were playing, and it was like some big Masters moment. But that is all told completely through actual footage, either found or broadcast.
Yeah.
No narrator.
I think I did see it, and I really liked that. I liked Jesus Camp for the same reason, although that thing completely freaked me out. But I like those things. You don't see them as much anymore, or maybe you just don't see them.
Yeah, because they're really hard.
Because they're hard, yeah.
Because they're really, really, really hard, and you actually have to have the goods that already tell a story for it to happen. Otherwise, you're trying to make it pop. And to be honest, it was part of one of the decisions that I had to make early on with Raise the Dead was whether or not I was going to go interview people for it. And I kind of went away from that mostly because in all the stuff that I had heard with great interviews, and there are fantastic shows with amazing interviews, but you're a prisoner to that, and that is a choice you have to make is like, all right, if you go out and interview somebody that is an expert on something, now you can't really go away from it, even if evidence suggests that maybe you should, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The whole process has always been fascinating to me, and I always appreciate a documentary where I feel like I've been impacted in a major way without the tricks. It just doesn't happen that often. And we are absolutely talking about not one of those with the Joe Exotic story. So we'll see what they do.
No. I mean, look, I think the Tiger King is, I mean, I don't even know if I would say that it's more reality television than documentary, because I think if you really know what reality television is, that is much more scripted. Like, nobody's tire actually goes out.
Yeah. Right.
That is a setup for the episode, right? That's why Hulk Hogan's going to be late for Brooke's birthday. Like, that doesn't just accidentally happen. Where I think Tiger King is like, did they shoot that in a way so it would be the most telegenic, so they could tell the most part of their story without, I mean, because like when you go to Joe Exotic's husband and he smiles and he has all those, janky ass teeth, that's, a picture that's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
And so I think that they were more along the lines of that.
Yeah. They were leaning into it, and I enjoyed my time there, but I think I'm kind of done for a while. Don't need to hear about it anymore. All right. Real quick here. Not real quick, whatever, however long we want to talk about it. But I wanted to talk to you about how states lifting. Let me start here. Utah lifted its status from red to orange level, whatever that means. It would be like DEFCON 4 to 5, I guess. Or
I really do wish. I mean, this is just from my perspective as somebody that's trying to cover this and make sense of it for people.
Yeah.
My God, it would be easier if we just all agreed as a nation to use the same terminology.
I agree.
Right, yeah.
I agree. Because it's like shelter at home, shelter in place, place for shelter, safe home, safers for homes. Like and now it's like, all right, well, the California's phase 2 is really like the federal phase 1, and Utah's not doing phases, they're doing color maps.
Yep.
So
Yep.
don't be, if you're blue, make it true, and if you're red, you're probably dead, and if you're chartreuse, then it's up the caboose.
What's the use? Yeah.
It's up the caboose. I like that. Yeah, that I agree. Some standardization would be nice. However, basically what it meant is some businesses could open. They still had to do a bunch of restrictions even within those businesses. I don't know all the details of it, but I do know that as of yesterday, we had the highest number of new cases. And here's the thing. It's not even from going red to orange. These new cases are just like from whatever we were doing 2 weeks ago, which was pretty well shut down 2 weeks ago. So we're not going to know for another 2 weeks if this little May half measure reopening thing has a positive or negative impact at all. Like, it's complicated. And on top of that, and this is true everywhere, like I'm just looking at my own state and using this as an example, but everywhere is having various discussions about this exact same sort of thing nationally and on local levels. But I'm wondering, what are the political implications of all of that? Because at the end of the day, if in 2 weeks we have a giant surge, what then? And by that I mean, like, what is the spin from Trump and his opponents? It doesn't seem like it serves anyone, is what I'm saying. Like, opening too soon is not going to serve anybody's goals for this November, for how to run this thing, or any of this stuff.
Well, before we get too far down the road, let's understand a few things here. Number one, I would encourage everybody that when you are looking at new cases, please also see what the rate of testing is in the area that you are judging new cases.
Right.
Because testing is going up nationwide. So you are more, the better statistic to look at is percentage of positive cases as opposed to raw new cases.
Okay. Good idea.
Because I do think that, look, we don't know is the answer to what the answer to your question. Like, we don't know whether or not opening up a little bit will cause a little bit of a jump up. We don't know whether the fact that we are social distancing more, that we are wearing masks, that people are aware that this is a real thing in a way that we weren't before, whether or not that's the same or like what the percentage of difference is. We don't know how this is going to react as we do move into the summer. There's a lot that we don't know because we have not seen the same kind of consistency throughout the world with this. That being said, there is anybody who values their life should be watching these testing numbers. We should be vigilant about it and if we see a gigantic uptick, let's say in Georgia, which particularly took a very aggressive tone in reopening, that I think that puts their governor on an island. When the president of the United States is saying that you've moved too fast, that effectively means that now you have opened yourself up to attacks from both sides of the aisle. If you're Brian Kemp in Georgia, for example. So I think politically you are looking at dire consequences now on a local level because things have been devolved so much for the states. In terms of federally, the death count is going to be a big thing. I think, anything that gets up to 100,000 is going to be closely watched. The further we get above 100,000 dead will be, very much put at the feet of Donald Trump. And, we will see kind of where the chips fall at that point, because we're going to have an election in November and we're going to find out real quick how people think about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're starting to see, you said it this morning, I was watching your Twitter account, and you said the national election tweets have started or something to that effect.
Last night. Well, there's this group called the Lincoln Group that has been well funded by a bunch of Never Trump people, and they've been releasing ads talking shit about Trump. And so Trump, I think they've been doing it for months now. I guess he just finally lost his cool and decided that he wanted to light him up on Twitter. Yeah. But that tweet was more in line of oh wow, we're just gonna do the general election from 2016 again, and he's gonna start the way he started then, which is ripping the Republican Party.
Right. Yeah. It's all rhino talk and all that stuff. But yeah. So that's that Rick Wilson deal, or he's involved somehow. Guy I follow on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's, yeah.
So they're all
him and Kellyanne Conway's husband and Steve Schmidt, I believe.
Yeah. Prominent old school Republican dudes and strategists.
Mostly it's ex campaign people.
Right.
There's not a lot of ex politicians. There's people that, unless they would be the number one guys you would hire if you were running a never Trump conservative campaign. There's just not a lot of them these days. And so they'll just go to the donors that also agree with them and say, hey, give us money and we'll just run negative ads, just because of the righteousness of it.
Well, it's kind of like Clinton's bald guy. What was his name?
Carville.
James Carville. Same sort of deal, right? Strategists and campaign managers and dudes that help you get. I think Rick Wilson famously got or is credited a lot with getting Rudy Giuliani elected in New York, and then later helped run his presidential bid or whatever. Which was among one of the funnier disasters. It was pretty bad, but it is an interesting.
Giuliani's brilliant idea was to wait until Florida, to ignore all of the early states and wait until Florida, and then realize that everybody else had such momentum they just ran him over in Florida, which is almost as funny as Michael Bloomberg, with the benefit of hindsight and 12 years in between those two moments, deciding to have the exact same strategy, except at the tune of $1 billion.
Yeah, I miss seeing his buses around. They were big and annoying, and I kind of liked them. It was just a fun, disruptive thing in our city. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but I was going to say. So, are those guys? They're obviously running a lot of anti-Trump stuff, but does that in effect mean that they're trying to push people toward Biden, or do you think this is like what is the play there? Like, what is the thing? Just to say we hate Trump and.
Oh yeah, I think for never Trump voters, I think that Biden is probably the best case scenario. He's an old head, exactly who he is. He's reached across the aisle in the past. He's the only reason why Obama got anything done in the Senate. So I think you are fine to hold your nose for Biden as opposed to, say, a Bernie if you were worried about the entirety of capitalism being dismantled.
That's a good point. If that is, and I've seen some of those guys say said things like that, so it makes sense. I don't know. I'm just real curious if it has any impact.
I would assume that it would be more Biden and Adhesive Wombat said the Lincoln Group would probably get behind Amash. I don't think so. I think that they are there to defeat Trump in a way that Amash is there to just kind of be the principled libertarian candidate.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up. So he jumped in as an independent, said I'm running, and there was equal amounts of vitriol thrown his way from both sides of this. Do you think it has? I don't think he's got the kind of heft that somebody like who's the old guy that. The Bush Clinton, I can't think of his name.
Nader.
No, the other one.
Nader.
No, before all that.
Before Perot?
Ralph.
Perot, that's what I'm trying to say is Perot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you think is that level of impact, if there is any, or is he just sort of like, what does this happen? What matters? What will happen with Justin? Amash?
Nobody's Ross Perot. You knew Ross Perot from the second that he opened his mouth, right? There's no, Ross Perot understood that he could talk and people would listen. I don't know if that's quite the same with Justin Amash. I think he is far more of the, there's like a couple different strains of libertarian, libertarianism. It's always funny to me when people say oh, that's the libertarian philosophy. And it's like, man, if you've ever hung out around libertarians, they all hate each other. They're like the wildlings. Yes, if you're south of the wall, they might all look alike, but what you don't realize is that they're all this thousands of feral hordes with their own very specific things that they all have inner rivalries, and the gun nuts hate the hippies, and the hippies hate the bookworms, and the bookworms hate the anarchists. It's just all insane to me. So it's always funny whenever you always know that somebody has no idea what the hell they're talking about whenever they're like, look at that libertarian. It's like, which of the 50 insane varieties are you talking about?
That Wildlings comparison is dead on, by the way. That's very good. You should use that more because it's
what are you looking for? He's right there in the printer.
There's a bird in the printer?
Yeah.
He's
Dr.
in the
Bird.
printer.
Yeah, Ashley just came in looking for the doctor.
He's been pulled into the printer. He'll make it. He'll be all right.
I think that Amash is more of the bookworm constitutionalist type. The question is, will he be a credible never Trump candidate? Because if he's a very credible never Trump candidate, then it will be enough. Number one, no matter what he does, it'll be enough for one of the losing candidates to blame him for losing. Because boy, do billion-dollar campaigns love blaming campaigns that have dozens of thousands of dollars for making them lose.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know. To me, he seemed like a principled dude with some decent ideas. Doesn't strike me as super libertarian per se. But I don't have the right definition in my head of what a libertarian is.
Well, again, it's because there is no definition of what a libertarian
they're all different.
is, literally.
Yeah.
There's a million different versions of it, and there's small L and big L and libertarians that don't want to call themselves libertarians. There's the absolutionists and the anarchists. It's a million different strains of it that literally only define themselves loosely as maybe we shouldn't have all these rules.
If I wanted to go live in the mountains in a cabin with just me, my dog, and a gun, I'm probably a libertarian or a version of one, right? Probably. I want to be off the grid, like I don't want to, or I guess I'm defining one of the subcategories that you're talking about. I would want to live off the grid. I want to live in my cabin. I want to make bacon every morning that I kill myself. Nobody going to tell me what to do. I ain't got no laws or rules. Like that's me, right? That's a libertarian of sorts.
Sure. Yeah. Although in general, it's very rarely let me go off and do some stuff. It's far more the like, and now the government wants to do a thing or tell you can't do blank or blah, blah, blah. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, are you familiar with the whole Ruby Ridge fiasco?
Big time. Yeah. It was a big deal here because they're just north of us, and it was a big whoop when it happened here. Yeah.
But that was like, I just listened to a podcast series about a year ago, and it's a fascinating case study of like, what do you do with a racist on a mountain? Like, no doubt, guy's racist.
Yeah.
But also, he's up on a mountain. And boy, does he not like coming down. Doesn't really like interacting with people.
Yeah.
Like, again, really racist.
Yeah.
Really racist. Exceptionally racist. But he really doesn't like coming down off that mountain.
Yeah.
And they wound up... things wound up escalating to the point where there was like one of the most crazy sieges in American history.
Yeah. I think I heard the same podcast you did. Is it the one that eventually goes into the stuff in Nevada and all that? Is it that series? What was that called? If it wasn't, you should hear that too, because it plays off of Ruby Ridge. Not plays off of it, but it talks about the impact of it and how it kind of sort of acted as an accelerant for a bunch of people in Nevada and Arizona. And
oh yeah. Oh, it directly played into the Waco thing.
Yeah, it was all Waco tied. Yeah, all that stuff was tied in. Like that was a hell of a series. That was something else.
I
can't remember the name. I'd recommend it.
It was a Slate series, the one that I listened to.
Same. Yeah, I think we heard the same.
Okay,
one.
Then it was the same one.
Yeah,
which I liked. I wound up talking to the editor for that one, and I was like, hey, it was a great job. And she was like, yeah, we got a lot of crap because people thought we were too sympathetic to the family.
Yeah.
And I actually would have went the other way, mostly because, not to say that the family were necessarily sympathetic in anything that they said or particularly did, but like, there's a moment where, spoiler alert to an event that happened 3 decades ago, the government shoots the mother in the head. The government says it's accidental. The family says it was intentional.
Yeah.
And like the kids and the father continue this like siege for another couple days as the kids describe crawling to get their breakfast over their mother's corpse.
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of like glazed over. And then they spend like 15 minutes with the lawyer prosecuting the father. And he's like, yeah, really ruined my life because I spent a lot of time in the office and my son really resented me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, one of these things happens all the time. The other, not so
the
much,
other one's
even on
more
a news value level.
Sure. It's I really enjoyed it though. People maybe could find it if they go to slate.com and find it. But yeah, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, and I always am. And by the way, that Taylor Kitsch adaptation of the Waco stuff that's on Netflix at the moment.
I have not seen it.
It's
good?
very good. Yeah, I mean it's dramatized, so you're getting all that. But Taylor Kitsch as David Koresh turns out pretty good casting. Like it works. And
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Is he still jacked or did he get skinny for it?
He looks more average than that. Not as jacked, but yeah, I know what you mean. He's definitely not full.
He's not action star Taylor Kitsch.
No, and he's got the big weird looking early 80s glasses and the hair and everything.
Although that is a really inspired casting because I think Taylor Kitsch is really great the less he says and the more he just stares.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that
he doesn't do a lot of talking in that probably.
Yeah, that the David Koresh role is something where there's just a lot of him. Like, is there something about, if you've ever watched Friday Night Lights, a lot of like him just not saying anything and just looking out into the distance, and you're like, damn, I feel you, dude. Like, And then like you put him in roles where he has to talk a lot, and you're like, who's this idiot? Get off the screen, you dummy.
Yeah, and I should have said it's a miniseries, not a film, and it's 4 episodes or something like that. It's called Waco. He's in it. Michael Shannon's in it. Plays the FBI dude. Michael Shannon's always good. So
yeah, he's great.
Rory Culkin is very good in this. Weirdly, Shea Wiggum is in this. He's great.
Oh, love Shea Wiggum.
Yeah, you guys would like it. It's very good.
Wait a minute, Rory Culkin. Have you not seen Succession?
No, not yet. He's good in that. I take it. I hear he's good.
Oh,
in that.
you gotta get Succession in your life.
Okay. I need to get around to it. It always just seemed kind of depressing. Like, do I really want to watch a bunch of infighting of rich people?
No. It is not depressing. Like, you will probably not. There's not many people in the show that are designed to be admired or liked, but it is very well written and very. It's basically a darker version of like Arrested Development. Like, take Arrested Development and make it so you actually care about who gets the money at the end.
Okay.
And then overlay it over like a thinly veiled version of like a News Corp meets Disney type business.
All right. I'm in. I'll finally watch it. I'm back. I got the HBO. Why not? Let's do it.
Totally. It's crap. It might not be free anymore. I think it was free through May.
Oh, they were doing that May thing. Yeah. Or not May, April.
April.
Yeah.
Sorry. It is May.
It is May, yeah. It's got to be May, as we all know. All right. Well, this has all been great and good, as always. I love hanging out on Tuesdays. Do you have anything this week going on you want particular eyeballs to be checking out and watching for?
Man, I don't even know. I don't know what the hell's going on. Whatever, You want to know what? Here's my plug.
Okay.
I mean, enough. If you ever find yourself, you're thinking like, I don't know, is this too much? Enough is what that's my voice, I hope, in your head. Just enough.
Okay.
Knock it off. All right. With the crazy tweets and retweeting things that you'd see for 2 seconds. For God's sakes, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And we just need to make sure that everybody survives.
Yeah.
So for 5 seconds, just read the thing you're going to retweet and see whether or not you want to freak out about it on Twitter. Everybody's just freaking out.
Right.
And I need everybody to calm down.
There you go.
You want to know what? Enough.
All right, enough. There's your message for the day. Well done. I enjoyed it. Justin Robert
love
Young,
you,
Justin R.
guys.
Young, we
Bye.
love you too. Bye. Hey, that reminds me. Here's what you should see and tweet immediately, though, Brian, when you see it.
What's that?
I saw I retweeted it, so it's up there. But it's a little monkey. I don't know where this is. Some other part of the world. A little monkey on a motorcycle. Drives up to a group of kids that are all hanging out. One of them is a diaper-wearing toddler kid. The monkey bails on the tiny motorcycle. He's all by himself. Bails on the motorcycle, grabs the toddler, and tries to kidnap the kid and pulls the kid halfway down the alley before people intervene. It is the weirdest freaking thing.
Was this on TikTok, Scott?
No, it was a Twitter thing. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I don't know where it is.
If you
chat room will put it in before I do, but it is the weirdest thing. He steals the kid, a monkey. There it is.
Oh,
There's
here we go.
the YouTube.
There it is. Pops and Recline just put it. Okay, I got to watch this thing.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing I've seen.
I'm just impressed. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I wasn't kidding.
Wow, he gets that thing. Oh my God, he gets that little kid like halfway down the alley.
Yeah, he comes on a motorcycle, bails on the tiny motorcycle, grabs the kid, pulls him off, yanks him. Now look at that. Oh my gosh.
Why is the monkey on a motorcycle?
I don't know. So many questions about everything about it. It's in some Morocco or somewhere.
Was planning on taking the baby too.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Holy cow! That is the craziest thing I've seen all day.
Jester Woot
And
is
the days
right.
just started.
Tarzan origin story. That is exactly right. Very odd. Anyway, thought you might like that. Okay, let's now. Oh, whoops! There we are. All right, let's now do a couple of quick things. We got this mashup thing Jamie made. It's not so much a mashup as it is an exhibit of you and I forgetting things. So I'm gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present to you.
Yep. So enjoy this and see how dumb we are. Here we go.
Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Diddy Kong. I can't remember all of
Diddy
his
Kong.
names.
Right now he's Diddy Kong Racing. It's fantastic. What the frick? What was that one HBO thing about the autistic lady? Grindle? What was it?
No, it was
Grandma Grindle.
Oh my God. It was
Groping the Grindle.
every time you say that, it slips further and further away from my fingers.
Sorry.
Annie Gable.
Grand old Grimble.
Griggle McFlangaters.
Grumble Grimble. Temple
Grandin. Thank you, MKO.
What are they called? Not entomologists. What's a bee expert? Bee. This is gonna be a word, right?
Apiarists.
Apiarists.
Because an apiary is a bee thing.
Ape rapists, right? Is that the way? You got it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the robot lady.
The robot lady. But I don't want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one robot lady.
What's the character's name? Is that Cameron?
Lilymorph. Robot Von Sheila. I have no idea.
Yes, that's exactly. Robot Von Sheila.
The people over here at the what's it called?
The code.
The
gap.
Dungeon. The dungeon. The gap in the dungeon.
Something.
Horse bucket. Garambe. I don't know what it is.
It was just me, Marty Fufkining in the basement. Was it Marty Fufkin?
Marty Fufkin. Yeah,
No,
Marty
Puffkin.
Muffkin. Marty Huffkin. Muffkin.
It wasn't even Marty, was it? It was
Artie
Fufkin.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got it.
All right, I'll put a couple of laughs in my do it.
Rupert Pupkin.
Oh, Rupert Pupkin.
Rupert Pupkin.
That's
Not to
it.
be confused with Artie Fufkin.
Yeah.
Samuel. Or no, what's the character? The Hanna-Barbera rooster.
Listen, I say here.
That's the one. Or I guess it was Warner Brothers.
What's his freaking name?
Hancock Rooster Tail.
Yeah, Hancock Rooster Tail is not his name. It's
listen, I say, listen.
It's oh gosh, what's wrong? A Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn. There we go.
Hancock Rooster Tail. That's the rip-off version. That's like the Hanna-Barbera version. Oh my gosh, dude.
God.
How does he know where these are? How does he know to go get these? What are you doing, Jamie?
I don't know, but jeez, that's
he's a mad genius.
hilarious. Here's the path that it usually takes. We come up with something. We both try to remember the name.
Yeah.
You start throwing out these random names, which completely derails me. And then I go, yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on at that point because
kind of the same,
I know I'm going to be so far away from the road I was on that I'm never going to make my way.
It's the same pattern every time. You're right. But Hancock Rooster Tail is pretty freaking funny.
Yeah. Artie Fufkin was from Spinal Tap. It was the Paul Schaefer character that says, just kick my ass. Just go ahead, guys. Kick my ass.
Oh, that's right. Also, I forgot.
Rupert Pupkin, Artie Fufkin.
Yes, get it straight.
On tour together, 2020.
I forgot Paul Schaefer was in the Disney animated Hercules movie. He plays Hercules. Oh, see, I'm doing it.
Mark Antonius.
It's happening right now. Hercules. Cephalles? Hermes. That's it. Hermes. There, Jamie. There's a freebie. Enjoy.
Oh, man. Icor just completed the trilogy. There you go. It's Artie Fufkin, Rupert Pupkin, and David S. Pumpkins.
Nailed
and
it.
those three, we got to make a T-shirt that's got those three guys on it.
Yeah, why not?
All arm in arm in arm.
Sure. Hey, I said I didn't. We did one yesterday. We've been giving people little pimps at the end of the show. And
little pimps.
Here's a little pimp for poorly.
Tiny little pimps.
Here's a show called Poorly Remembered Stories. This is from Matthew Sargent, a.k.a. LaSarge. Probably in the chat now. I don't know. I didn't see him today. But he says, I have something to submit for the cool things fans make segment. My webcomic, bagdropcomic.com, might be a fun way for people to pass the time in the quarantine. It's a workplace humor strip about people who work at a golf course. Plenty of jokes, and anyone who has a boring service or retail job.
I agree. I've got the graphic novel somewhere behind, I believe.
Yeah,
somewhere's the graphic novel.
I read this comic as well. For anyone more into physical comics, he says he's released a printed collection of the comic, which Brian has, and the complete bag drop. It's called the Complete Bag Drop at Nerdtacular 2015. I think that's where I got mine.
That's where. Yeah.
It's available at Amazon, which you can find at tinyurl.com/sargebooks, SARGE. Thanks for introducing the concept of the show. Can't wait to see cool stuff from the community. Well, thank you, LaSarge, a.k.a. Matt and or Matthew, and we hope people check it out. Again, the website for the comic is bagdropcomic.com. bagdropcomic.com. Go check it out. Make it part of your. Oh, there he is. Lesarge is in the chat.
He's in the chat room. Yeah, I got to hang out with him very briefly at that meetup in Chicago.
Oh, that's right.
And his new wife came, and just after their big honeymoon, which was to the Galapagos Islands. Is that right? If I remember correctly.
That's cool.
So cool seeing them.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great artist too. All right, that's it for the show. Big thanks everybody for being here. Patreon.com/TMS is how we keep the fires burning. So if you have not yet contributed, consider it. There's lots of rewards and benefits to doing so, which you can read all about at Patreon.com/TMS. Like this Friday, we have a TMS PM. You can only get it by being a sub over there, and it can be any level to get it. You can also still watch it live that way, or catch it on the Patreon feed. Check that out. Patreon.com/TMS. Everything else, frogpants.com/TMS. Brian, I require a song in my soul.
Okay. All right. Well, we talked about, well, maybe we didn't talk. I talked to him in chat, but I don't know if we've talked about him on the show. J.K. Grammer is celebrating a birthday today. He says, "Hey, Bruticus and Superion, for my 48th birthday, I'd love to hear Maluka's cover